Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Sea-Dweller 4000, reference 116600. You can see and you can purchase this ultra-deep diving Rolex dive watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details for this Rolex Sea-Dweller 4000. Now, it's been a while since I've had a Sea-Dweller 4000 on the channel, and I think it's important to note that since the last time I had one of these, I've introduced a few new features to the reviews. So, although we've seen this watch and it's a familiar face, let's see it in a different perspective. So the timepiece across the broad of the case distinguishes itself from the deep sea by being a true 40 millimeters across from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, not including the crown or the crown guards. Now, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a slightly beefier Submariner, so it doesn't have the ungainly qualities of the deep sea. The deep sea, being 18 millimeters thick, is far thicker from top to bottom than this timepiece, which is a much more manageable 15. And you can see the slope of the bezel and the step of the sapphire makes it easier to wear this one with perhaps a sport jacket, a loose sweater, or a blazer cuff. Not the tightest of dress sleeves, but it is more viable as your everyday all-attire watch. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is pretty reasonable. This timepiece measures 46 millimeters from lug to lug, but when you include the solid end links of the bracelet, the span increases to 51.5. Again, large but manageable. Now, the watch has immense heft on the wrist. A generation ago, this is how much a Rolex gold timepiece on a gold bracelet would have worn. It's because of the solid end links, solid center links, the robust case, and the fully milled out clasp that the watch gains a lot of extra mass, and that's a good thing, because the substantial bracelet and the deployant clasp act as a counterweight to the watch such that it doesn't have any tendency to want to porpoise or roll over on the wrist. If you are the type who prefers to wear your bracelet a little bit looser, this one's going to stay stable and upright. Now, the clasp is a beautiful thing. It's known as the Oyster Lock clasp, and it includes two special features. The first is a system called Glide Lock. When you pull the locking link up, as I have, you have immense adjustability. You have 20 millimeters and 2 millimeter increments in there. And then there's another feature called Flip Lock. Between the two of them, you get over 2 inches of adjustability, so you can easily wear this watch over a dive suit, wet, dry, or even a thick winter coat should you be more of a landlubber but predisposed to living in areas where extreme weather conditions obtain during the winter. Now, it's a very solid series of links, so though it looks a little bit like the old stamped links from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, make no mistake, this is as solid as a bank vault, just like every other piece of this watch. Now, the timepiece, again, has good weight to it, but it's not overwhelming. It's anything but the deep sea. What it has is an incredibly handsome and symmetrical dial. With the absence of the cyclops eye, the dial of the Sea-Dweller appears a more handsome, one might say even more elegant version of that seen on the 6-digit Sub-C. By 6-digit, of course, I mean the 6-digit reference Submariner. But the Submariner features the Cyclops eye. That's not possible given the thickness of the crystal here. So Rolex has actually cleaned up the watch and made it a bit more elegant than its somewhat slimmer Submariner brethren. Now, the watch does feature a ceramic bezel. This is of the latest generation of Rolex watches. So you have Cerachrom, but inside the Cerachrom ceramic you also have wells filled with platinum at all of the indices, hash marks, and Arabic numerals. And Rolex, of course, cuts no corners. Even the luminescent pip at the index of the bezel is itself capped by sapphire. Now, the dial's handsome, all gloss with white gold indices and white gold hands at center, completely tarnish-proof. The watch features a very stout construction, as you can see in profile, solid case back featuring a satin grain, and inside Rolex's tried and true 3135 automatic caliber. It has about a 48-hour power reserve, automatic with smooth bidirectional winding. It is a chronometer, but also tested 2 chronometer standards as a cased watch, a notable deviation from the practice of most watch manufacturers, which simply have the movements certified as bare calibers, not certifying them again in the watch. Rolex goes that extra mile and ensures chronometric performance to COSC standards as a fully cased up watch. Of course, the caliber also has a Breguet overcoil hairspring made of Rolex's anti-magnetic parachrome blue alloy, a full balance bridge and free sprung for robust resistance to shock-induced timing variation. So with the parachrome, you have anti-magnetism, you have resistance to positionally induced or gravitationally induced timing variation, courtesy of the Breguet overcoil architecture, and with the free-sprung full balance bridge, you have resistance to the shock-induced variation. Of course, you have immense water resistance down to 4,000 feet, and you'll note the helium release valve, a system pioneered by Rolex in the late 60s for Comex, is present and correct. You can see this rather deluxe but reasonably sized Rolex Ultra Deep Diving Sea-Dweller 4000 and purchase it on our website.